I have to learn to take some breaths. This has caused me to have a speech impediment. Trauma has a tendency to do that. It's caused a lot of psychological damage, and unfortunately, I haven't really been able to get therapy or support system. It's enforced that I don't by the government. So this video diary is about the abuse from my daughter's stepmom. Okay, these are several different text messages from her. My daughter reported, actually September, I think it was 11th, September something, 2011. I reported to the police that my daughter went over to her dad's house and had bruises. They took pictures and CPS came over, but I didn't realize I was targeted then, and both the police department and CPS covered for it, and it was never investigated. So then fast forward, my daughter really didn't have a relationship with her dad. He wasn't really involved. We called periodically. He would not answer her calls after I got away from that environment and moved. So he had a stroke after reporting to me that he got payments. I called and I said I wasn't getting payments. And then he said, no, you should be getting those payments. I feel that. That's the $3,000 that was stole. Then they got caught and gave me the $3,000 back. But then he had a stroke shortly after that. After that stroke, he wanted to have access to his daughter more, and she was in his life a little bit more. So then it was sporadic. So then we moved, and then he wanted to be involved in his daughter's life a little bit more. And it appeared that the stepmom was psychologically abusive, but she could talk. So the stepmom knew how to do hair really good, and she went over there and said that she was going to put my daughter's hair in a really nice style, and it was actually horrible and humiliating for my child. And then she would put her on horrible clothes and let her dress herself. It was obvious neglect and abuse. And my daughter, she told one day I went out of town and stepmom kept her. Stepmom said that if your mom is not back in enough time, I'm not picking you up. And then that you're going to have to be out here outside by yourself and fend for yourself. She was at 8. I said, you told my daughter that? She said, yes. So I called, attached to school, panicking, and the school's hanging up in my face and wouldn't put my daughter on the phone. So I got up to the school and they're being weird, but I demand to see my daughter, and they're trying to prevent me from seeing my daughter. And I'm looking at them like they're crazy. I'm her mom. Let me see my child. So then they were forced to get my child for me. She looked horrible. She had tears all on her face, snot. I mean, she looked horrible. Her appearance was disheveled. The way that they dressed her, I had never seen my daughter look that horrible. And it was heartbreaking that I was trapped and couldn't do anything. So nonetheless, so I knew, and she told me that stepmom whipped her with the middle part of the belt where she couldn't breathe. I reported that to CPS, and it was ignored again, and the pathological lies. So by that time, they took my freedom, and that's how stepmom and dad got access to her again. He had another stroke that almost killed him, and then he hasn't been the same ever since, and she's running the show. At one point, he had to have assistance where someone actually had to hold his private part and help him use the bathroom. They left my daughter with him alone, meaning that she was a child and had to hold his private part. She must have been about 11. And then when they got caught in that, they kept me from talking to her again. Each time that I see abuse, then they strategize to where they don't let me talk to her for a year or so until, it blows over. Like when she got hit. That's the history, and these are the texts. So the stepmom asked me from nowhere for my address. I said, okay. And I said, is Michaela still sending the letter? I never did speak to Michaela again or get the letter. This was Sunday, and this happened June 18th. Is she still sending the letter? And then in July, I'm asking for another update. So she tells me, and you won't until she's ready. She doesn't want to. Why do you guys taunt me and ask me for my address, saying she wanted to talk to me for the attorney general to get the child support that's due from you? Oh, so you lied? If my rights are terminated, I'm not supposed to pay child support. I've already done this. I think that they were scheming and they were upset. I think that my abuser didn't want me living in this new environment, and he was trying to strategize to keep me from having money to pay the rent. He's already tried to abate these funds. So he was they're scamming and deliberately being in cahoots together. That's why the child support division is claiming they don't have my terminated rights, but some kind of way that they have me paying child support. But I was a legal custodial parent, so they have to have it. I'm paying child support, but they're scamming that they can't see why I'm paying the child support. Then we have the 255th District Court racking up all felonies for all kind of felonies for themselves, ignoring me when I asked for records. I've already requested the records in emails and was ignored. And then I've requested the records in person and security was called. So I said, oh, so you lied? If my rights are terminated, I'm not supposed to pay child support. Yes, in correction, you still have to pay child support and medical insurance and what we're told, and we're having a review plus back support for years, and you haven't paid. So my family has said years, my children and my sister, they're saying that they scammed years, saying that they hated my guts for things that didn't happen. It was a strategy to leave me in the government's abuse and ostracize and isolate me. And I believe the government's behind it, these pathological lies, therefore deny me law enforcement. So they were actually in tears and in terror making these false reports about me. So now they're strategizing to not be responsible. They're saying that someone's calling them and they're being told that I did things. Some of these videos, you can actually hear them saying that they're being told. Well, the reason why they're saying they're being told because they need a strategy to ignore me being violated on YouTube. So they're conning that it's impossible for them to review how I'm being mistreated on YouTube and someone's telling them. So they're letting a stranger call and tell them that I'm doing things that they don't approve of. That's their strategy. So that's really bizarre that you're going to let someone you don't know call you and cause a rift with someone that you've been knowing years. But like I said, that's a strategy they're using to stay away from me and with no reasoning. So they're scamming to keep me from making the payment. So she's asking that we are reviewing a review plus back support years. Are my rights terminated? The rights you have are to be paid for supervised visits and the things I just mentioned. That's not answering the question. Are my rights terminated? No, I told you, you're right. The police told me my rights were terminated and multiple other parties. I think I have it recorded. Believe what you want. You will get a notice from Attorney General. Attorney General says you should be paying since 2019, so you have to back pay since then. I have made some payments. I'm asking about my rights. How is it that I haven't seen Michaela and I have rights? Because you haven't made the necessary arrangements like the court paper said, and that's on you. If I have rights, why do I have to do paperwork? Don't you think doing a little paperwork is worth seeing your child? Why am I doing paperwork? I have already done paperwork and get nowhere with Family Place FLP. Why am I on supervised visits? Because we don't get along. Well, if you're abusing my child, I don't fathom that we would get along. So you're not doing anything to be even a small part of your child's life, and you're unstable, and that's so sad. Detective Perez from Youth said that he did some digging and my rights were terminated. And that's the video with him saying my rights are terminated and I'm trying to report the corruption with the courts. Detective Perez said, it's right. Are you not listening to your own recording? You supervise visits that you have set up. No one can do that but you. So she's deflecting on him saying that my rights are terminated and wants to emphasize that I'm on supervised visits. You have a responsibility to care for your child just like Mike has done years and still doing. That's evidence that it's his stepmom communicating. He's not able to communicate like this. He's not in his right frame of mind since the strokes. When my rights are terminated, I'm not responsible for my child's child support. And who told you that lie, or you're listening to your rights or not? Your rights are not terminated. You have a responsibility. Sounds like to me you don't want to do anything. So sad coming from a mom who says she misses her daughter. So Detective Perez lied. I don't want you to get to rob me of my daughter and get rewarded for it. She will be 16 this year and walking around talking about everybody is doing this and that. She calls me Nicole, and you're not that important. There is so much going on in the world, and you are just one person. Are you looking at the news? Children are missing, parents without their kids.
You have a chance to see your child. There are children that are drowned at a camp and their parents won't get to see them anymore. And you're writing all of this mess about your rights being terminated. Your rights have not been terminated. You just won't take the responsibility to do as a mother do. Your daughter barely has a memory of you. And yes, she see all this mess on YouTube. That's why she don't want to call you or write you, because of the stuff that you're doing. You are very unstable. Get yourself together.
So when my daughter had the meltdown and stepmom witnessed it, and stepmom said that I'm giving her away to CPS. So it was punishing her for showing the pain and suffering and the damage that has been done from their abuse. So now my daughter can't verbalize the pain and suffering she has, which is psychologically abusive, in addition to the physical abuse that she's endured. So I reported it all this to multiple different government agencies, and they all have covered for it. So during this experience, I know that someone enjoys pain and suffering for me. I've had friendships lie and said that they were dying. I had some parties say that their son was going to jail and had a life sentence, and they didn't know what they were going to do, and it was a blatant lie. I've had parties, a child tell me that her mother beat her cousin's head in the head with a hammer, and they died. Then I realized that someone was deliberately doing this in these support groups and in the mental hospitals when I'm there on false pretenses. I've had people say that my brother raped me, it hurt, and I was in pain. This is not something typical that a hospital would enforce and demand that you experience, but they did. Some parties said that she liked blowing up houses and she wanted to murder someone, and I'm sitting here without my own issues and being forced into all this trauma. If people will be honest, I'm known to not do drama. In fact, that's why I ended the online relationship with whoever it was pretending to be Jason Gardner. So I ended the online relationship because he liked drama, and that's not me, if people were to be honest. I don't, if you want to argue, I have left environments. Threatened to put people out my car that wanted to argue and bicker, but I don't have a choice. It's being forced on me by the government. They're enforcing that I be a doormat and not giving me any option to escape it. I've been at locations, they scam. This is called street theater. They prearrange at this locations to have 10 police cars and to scam reasoning for drama. I've been at locations and there's been multiple different ambulances that have came, but they do this in malice. Once again, this is street theater. This is what the government does to a lot of witnesses. They shut down trains and buses in scams. They've had locations with the police department that says the police for no reasoning. They shut down locations I was at in schemes for street theater. Like if I wanted to go out and do something that day or be at a restaurant or a bar, they shut down the whole area in a scam saying that it's a gas leak or something, a con. To shut down the whole area. They shut down buses that I was riding and trains and malice with these same cons. Multiple different times I have it recorded. So I started to record the street theater, the ambulances repeatedly over and over, and the police cars, the sirens. Then I realized what was happening because it was too many times. I've been living a long time. So I try to go to sleep and I'd hear ambulances like 5-6 times a night or sirens. It kept waking me up. So one day I noticed that it was a police car on property and was doing it. I had to delete the videos because I documented all these sirens knowing how it sounds, that people wouldn't believe me. Stepmom has told me that called and cursed me out because I sent fire trucks and ambulances at her location, and she knew I had no clue where she lived. I reported it to the police. She said that my daughter was missing, so I would be in terror, and then giving her away to CPS. My son, they lied and told me my son had a car accident. I don't know how true it is. Told me that he could barely use his arm, then wouldn't give me any knowledge or feedback on how my son was doing. He actually did get hit with a car. So I don't know the truth, and they wanted me to sit and marinate and then not give me details on my son. My son was in a car accident. And then people have really bizarre accidents around me. Like people have had hit and runs, and then there's been mysterious deaths, a lot of them, like a horror movie. And it was just really suspicious that all these events that would have me in a constant state of terror and torment. For example, that I gave my aunt a card to go get food, and then given the card, she said, someone kept your card and I can't give it to you. I said, what? Yeah, they kept your card and I can't give it to you. While she's telling me that, someone came out and said, yeah, your uncle is sick and we're about to call an ambulance. And she couldn't, and then he wanted to tell me, which was peculiar, because I didn't live there, but I gave my aunt the card because she was keeping my son, supposedly for him to get a scholarship. So I had just left Vivid Images seeing the abuser. And then, it didn't go really well because he was taunting and playing mind games there. So I wasn't never going to speak to him again. after the incident. So nonetheless, I get there. She's trying to steal my card. In the middle of her trying to steal my card, someone is talking to me and telling me my uncle's sick and they're about to put him in the hospital and he can walk and he don't know why he's not walking. Well, he don't know me from Adam to be telling me all this information. As I could see back, why would you come tell a stranger everything that's going on? But he did. So I'm panicking. My uncle's going to, about to go. They're about to call 911. He can walk, and they're telling me all this stuff that's going on in the environment. I'm just living vivid images from insanity there, not about to talk to this man again. And then you're telling me you're stealing my card. So it's overwhelming. So I said, you know what? I'm tired of you guys. I used to be a doormat. I'm calling the police. And then she said, the girl said has your card and she won't give it back. I said, I gave you my card, not the girl, and I'm calling the police on you. She furnishes the card. Then my son, I have money missing. My son hands me my wallet. But it's not my wallet, it's my aunt's wallet. He's living there. So my son, he is not a thief. That's not in his character. So I've had money missing in places where it was hidden and I just was there with my 8-year-old child. It didn't make sense. So my son hands me my wallet, hands my aunt my wallet. And they were trying to be funny. And I said, that looks like it was distinctive. But you don't think that if you're going to steal my wallet, you don't hand somebody, you don't play that mind game. And I just put pieces together. And then another girl that was a grand gang stalker, she said that her mother got raped and then had to live with the rapist. And her family hated her guts. And she hated her guts because her mother lived with the rapist as a minor. And then I realized someone was trying to have people do this and play mind games because it's too much. I've been living a long time. So I worked with this lady at McDonald's. I couldn't get another job, and they had peculiar at McDonald's and pathologically lied on me and played the same mind games there. So then one of the parties played the same mind games in front of my daughter. So I'll go into that. You need to know what I experienced, the living hell, and how this is like a horror movie. So she states that her mom was molested, that she was 14, and this man was having sex with her. Her mom had dared to have sex with this man. And then they weren't talking to her because she had sex with this man. And then she went to go live with the man. Isn't that disgusting? I said, it sounds like she was being molested and raped. And that's illegal for you guys to for your family to let a 14-year-old child live with the rapist. And then she said, oh, really? Yes. And then I didn't know that it was really the games. So she says that, well, my mom used to hit me with pots and pans and I was in foster care. So then another lady said that her son committed suicide. And then it didn't work out. He tried to commit suicide and he's threatening to commit suicide. It's like everyone's like cracking up. These are all different toxic friendships, And then another party saying right now, currently in this environment, she's talking about false arrest, someone in jail doing life, DA, the feds, all the time. And then how she's a witness, and then multiple different other parties say that they're targeted too. So it can't be comfortable conversations because I don't typically just go address to conversations. I'm trying to forget my life. So they're talking about things that I'm not quite sure it's true. So it's toxic, and a lot of times it's not peaceful conversations. So a community transformation, the pastor is very open, and she talks about how her sister was murdered. And then she talks about how that she had issues with thinking that her children were sick. And it's borderline, and maybe she may have had a mental illness because it was like scary, some of the things that she was saying. And I don't know if it was really being authentic or if someone was manipulating it. Because then she says some things about she was afraid that her kids would get hurt. And then, I can't really think about it, but sometimes it's been alarming, these experiences that I've had from people. And it's like everybody's cracking up, but I think someone's possibly manipulating it. So I sent all this information about Skinner, how Skinner says my rights are terminated. And I said schemes to cover for interference with child custody crimes, amongst other crimes. Calling the police on family place FOP because she's saying that I'm not doing my part. And the supervised visits that were derived in corruption, police scheme that it's the court's fault that I'm not getting my supervised visits, and all that sent to her at 11:36. The time now is 1:29, and I'm being ignored. The keyboard's missing. I can't find videos. There's a cursor right there. People did this all the time.
For all the mothers on this motherfucker.
I had to be a cut 3 or 4 times a day. She asked to sit next to me. I said no. She did the same thing inside the shelter.
That's my food. There's the scheme. That's your goddamn phone. I'm going to keep recording if you want to.
That's why I have to record, because people wouldn't believe that I experienced this 3 or 4 times a day.
I said, hell no. Look at why. She's been doing the same thing.
So I asked her not to say. I had to carry mace because I wasn't getting law enforcement with people doing this.
Put me on your camera and put me on YouTube and Facebook, bitch. I'm going to let your bitch ass have it.
And then he's saying, hearing her threatening me and saying, y'all. So the government sets up for people to treat me like this. Has already happened. They set up for people to treat me like this and use that as a strategy to get me off buses. So I have to record because it repeatedly kept happening. So watch this particular incident. Another incident, you can look at all this in the petty side of gang stalking, all of this detailed experiences as being a targeted individual and how the government in their street theater, this is called street theater because it was set up and prearranged before I entered the bus. So this particular time, I don't know these people. This man right here. The light won't come on.
Like this. All this over here and what we seen on the bus and these people with the lights on. Someone was trying to shine their light on me in a car, and I tried to record it, but they cut them off real quick. Because people would not believe what I go through. I didn't show how they shine lights in my face on purpose. Vehicles. Hey man, don't spit that camera on my face again, man. Real. He's trying to start an argument. There's no camera nowhere on your face. Nobody. You been recording this fucking body with no camera? What the fuck's wrong with you?
So he threatens me, and the bus driver that had already left me multiple different times opened the door like he was going to let me catch the bus and then gather my items, and then he closed it and then drive off. That was the same bus driver that said that, hey, well, I've already told you don't record him threatening you. And then that would let him threaten me, which is misconduct. He's supposed to call help for me, but no one does. So they're asking me, this is a child abuse report at South Central Patrol.
Police don't enforce
They
child
detained
abuse.
me later that day and sent me to Dallas Behavior.
Child abuse.
So I went in the bathroom because my phone wasn't recorded. An officer came in there with me in the bathroom and demanded that I come out. I couldn't record it. This also happened at MHMR in Westmoreland. I went in the bathroom and she came off in there with me. This is how I have to live. They knew that there was no evidence of me being treated like this. I'm not free. So, and then we had my session for counseling. He had to have the door open. He had to ask someone if he could close the door, and they instructed him that he couldn't close the door. And then it was my first counseling session and last. And I haven't been able to get counseling since then. That's something. I'm trying reporting child abuse. I'm reporting child abuse. And then I'm going to the bathroom, and the police are coming in the bathroom with me and demanding that I leave. My phone wasn't working. They wanted to make sure that I wasn't trying to correct the issue that they created with my phone. They didn't want to record me being set up. So I said, I'm using the bathroom. Are you telling me that I can't use the bathroom? And then they thought about what they were doing, demanding that I come out the bathroom. Then they thought it was like after they thought about it, I had time to pretend like I was using the bathroom to correct my device, and then I recorded. So then they had to scam that they were setting me up and pretending like they were going to take the report, but detain me later. In the tent, they just came out from nowhere in the tent. Got blacklisted from all shelter.
Hello.
How you doing? You okay?
Why do you ask?
I'm just asking, making sure you're okay.
Are you shining a light in my face? Police harass me.
Okay.
Let's get roared. I can't.
It's on the ground. I'm just making sure you're okay. You okay?
Yeah, are you committing a crime?
Am I committing a crime?
Yeah, what are you here for?
Checking on you.
Okay, well, where's all my police reports? It's like harass.
Checking on you.
Well, it's like you're
supposed to
bullying
be
me.
outside?
No, I don't know why it's like you're abusive.
Oh, no, ma'am.
Because, I mean, if you're trying to help me, why aren't you investigating any of the police reports? What about my conspiracy to
You're
violate
sitting in
things and why she
in a tent.
shining the light in my face?
They don't care.
This is a lot of government abuse right here and torture.
We're just checking on you. That's all.
Well, if you want to check on me, where's all my the crimes I reported? Why is she shining the light? Well, hey, if you're trying to check on me, are you trying to torture me, intimidate?
Kidnap.
Well, are you here to intimidate me and bully me?
No, ma'am. I just want to know, are you okay? You don't feel like hurting yourself?
All right, why is she trying to? Why is she covering for the conspiracy to violate
So
civil rights
it's
crimes?
difficult to watch this insanity.
Do you?
I don't. At KFC,
'Cause this
they
is
don't
gonna be the
care.
third and
I won't go
13th
nowhere. Like here. So they had the milk
Are
when I
y'all
went to
scheming to do
KFC.
something? Oh, okay. Oh yeah. I mean, it can pass.
So the vehicle waited, and then they want the vehicle supposed to yield to pedestrians, not come at someone trying to cross the street. It waited to do that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
How you been?
Fine, you?
I've been all right. What you been up to?
We're just trying to eat. What's going on today?
Okay. The same old, same old. I'm gonna have a social worker. You remember her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was gonna talk to you and ask you a few questions, okay?
Oh, again, huh?
Yeah.
Y'all aren't through.
Again, yeah. You're not in trouble.
Fine.
He, like he said, you're not in
Thank
trouble.
you.
Where you been to church?
When
No,
are
just
you
handling
going to be
some
in
business.
trouble?
Is that what you're
Mhm.
very professional?
Okay. Well, let me have a seat.
That's why they
because
were
I'm
doing it,
hypoglycemic.
'cause I look good.
I haven't ate.
The same lady.
What's your name again, ma'am?
It's Kay.
My name is Kevin. I'm a Dallas paramedic.
Okay.
Got the young ladies here. They be talking. You want me to take your vitals or you good?
No, I'm good. Why do we need this? Because I'm ordering food.
It's just a simple question.
Yeah, I mean, I just was ordering food and they said they were closed.
Yeah, if you wanted me to take your vitals and something.
No, I mean, why would
Conspiracy to
why am I
violate.
for
That's why they
wanting
were
food?
closed, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's what I just ordered food or something.
So their scam is, because I'm recording, why did they call us? Okay, you have came out and you don't know why you're there. Going on to the next insanity. So they threatened my arrest because I want access to my child. And said I'm going to be arrested for criminal trespass when they can't explain why I was detained for trying to report child abuse and interference with child custody crimes. The bus stop alone. Listen to my life is.
No.
When he wants to set me up, recording saves my behind.
Somebody called.
I'm at the bus stop. Somebody called at a bus stop.
Worried about it.
Alone.
Yeah, they won't follow through in any of the police reports. Why are they worried about me? For trying to escape into domestic abuse? Why would they call? Let me have a seat right now to catch my breath. I don't understand why they make it such a big deal because I'm trying to escape a domestic.
I don't think that you really and truly understand. When I was not recording, all these people would actually take my freedom. They wait till I'm not recording, like at one safe place in Fort Worth. He lured me away from witnesses, and then when I wasn't recording, immediately handcuffed me. And then they pretended like they wanted to help when I was handcuffed. Before I was handcuffed, at Salvation Army, the police came from nowhere, and I recorded it. So they enlisted Parkland Hospital when they detained me to steal all my property, including my phone. It showed how police came from nowhere and handcuffed me and hauled me out on pathological lies.
Am I going to the hospital?
Who came over family members'
Going to the
house?
hospital?
Blatant lies, pathological lies, with family, not safe there
Am I
either.
going to the hospital? Going to the hospital? Why am I going to the hospital? Am I going to the hospital? Why am I going to the hospital? Why am I going to the hospital?
That's misconduct. You don't just take someone to the hospital and then hide while you're doing it. You have to investigate the situation and just, make sure that party, it's not false reports, and validate the story that was given. All kind of felonies and misconduct unaddressed. There's crimes that my sister committed and these police. So he's telling me, boasting in emails, what he's about to do, and the police won't investigate him or themselves. Okay, I had just been released from jail from the Red Roof Inn incident, okay? And then the police officer in Malice gave all my property back to Red Roof Inn, and I didn't know what was going on. I thought they stole my ID, my license, funds, and debit card, okay? So it was getting cold that night, and I had summer clothes on because I was arrested, and then they released me, and it was a cold front coming in. So the government blacklisted me from all shelter, and then I had no way of being able to travel, and I did not know where all my property was. Because the police department released me and kept all my property in malice. Has happened multiple different false arrests. I started to call the police on the police for stealing my property. The last arrest in Austin, he stole my phone and my perfume. And multiple different times they've stolen property. And then when I started uploading it, they tried to give me the property back. And I do have videos to prove that they tried to steal my backpack. And they'll take my ID and everything out of it, and then out of the property that they're supposed to give me. And then they'll scam that they'll ship it off in another location, so I can be destitute upon my release and struggling, afraid. They also steal all my property at hotel stays, so I can experience the same thing after I'm hospitalized on false pretenses. So nonetheless, I had just been released from the hospital, the jail on the false charges, deprived of my constitutional right to go to court. And I went to the police department and I reported that they stole my property. I didn't know where to go. I was afraid for my life. I get threatened and all the insanity. I get set up and I was afraid. The police department, I told them I wanted to be in witness protection. I wanted to go to a domestic violence organization. I get threatened. I'm not safe. So they told me to go to, they had me wait like an hour and a half. They did not give me a housing coordinator like they were supposed to, but they had me go to the bridge shelter to experience this. My device is glitching because I wanted you to see what all I was met with, my thumbnail, but it's not showing it. Well, nonetheless. So they're stating, because I couldn't get off the streets, it was getting cold. So this man right here pushed and shoved me. So my devices are glitching, trying to cover for crimes, and it's not clear. So he pushed and shoved me for trying to get services at the bridge, then demanded that I left for trying to report a theft that it seemed like the security stole. They stole everything I had, a brand new bag I had, and they've done it multiple different times at the same location and put me out for reporting it. So they're having this man scam that it's impossible for me to get off the streets. So I'm going to have to be outside during this cold front. That every other shelter shut down, and they have a Parkland inside. It's a blatant lie. They have a Parkland clinic inside the shelter that is giving people COVID-19 tests. You don't leave someone trapped in a shutdown and then leave them unhoused. They have emergency locations for housing. They're blatantly lying. So my device keeps cutting. You just have to see it at the end. All the madness that's there.
So what, do I just stay on the street and die? I mean,
Are you letting him stay right here?
They're telling me to stay outside.
They'll let you stay out here. They're just not.
oh, I need to go to the hospital.
No bathroom.
It's cold outside, and if I have to require testing, there's so many schemes. I already told you about that.
I mean, we gave you the right to shelter. We're here at the shelter.
Yeah,
The
I don't
thing
want to
is,
sleep
though-
outside because that's not safe. I want to go to the parking.
Right.
Okay, but we can't take you to Parkland. Like, you have to find a way to Parkland. But
Well,
if
I
you
can't-
get
I
to
don't have shelter
Parkland,
here.
here's the thing though. Somebody needs to pay for the COVID test. So you're either on their insurance that they offer.
Oh, so you guys are scheming. Okay. You see, what's your badge number?
My badge on the other side.
Okay, right here.
So we gave you the right to shelter.
Yeah, so I can be
It's not
stuck
illegal to be
outside.
homeless or to leave.
Well, go ahead. Okay.
It's not illegal to be homeless.
Not
They
illegal
gave,
to be homeless.
but they're supposed to be
get your
look at all this
license.
madness that was waiting on me. Nothing happened. If someone were to do law enforcement, someone is sending all this insanity out.
So this is what happened. They're denied. They said they schemed with the shelter already, so I don't get service. So this is what happened when I got to the shelter. He buys all this chaos. They keep letting him do it. So I get here. It happens quite often.
You don't
what
believe
do
it?
when
You
have
still
a
don't
mental
believe
illness
it's
and the
because of me?
government's on your
Let me show
payroll?
you something else. So I went to Baylor because it wasn't safe for me, and the only strategy that I had was to say that I'm mentally ill because it is just simply not safe. So I went to Baylor and said that I was suicidal, and now they're scamming like they did with Gulfbin. They're scamming that there's assessments for being suicidal, and that you have to meet criteria. If they don't really believe that you're suicidal and you don't pass the assessment, you can't get treatment. That's their way of further violating my rights. So they already have it prepped for Gulf men to deny me. If I'm saying that I'm suicidal, they won't let me in because they have to do an assessment. And then that way they determine if I'm really suicidal. They determine if you really are homicidal. You can't just say that. They have to do an assessment to determine if you really are, which doesn't make sense. You can see right past the comments. So when I said a long time ago that they act out pathological lies, I know people probably didn't understand what that meant. That's when, my sister, in parties are saying things that I'm dying, I have cancer, someone has a life sentence and not getting out of jail, and then they're I sin within like 2 months. Just a pathological lie. Your daughter's missing, your son had a car accident. What happened? I don't know, I have to go. So they tried to immediately hide that their numbers.
I'm just trying to flee abuse
So
I can, and I can't get in a
let me
safe
go back to
environment.
it.
I get
Let me see if I can start it over.
another community
It won't. They see all of them. See, watch him immediately run off to try to hide, so you can't see. They deliberately try to do that so that you can't see the intimidation and the numbers of police.
Yeah, I'm just trying to flee abuse I can, and I can't get in a safe environment. I get gang stalked every day, and then someone pulled a knife on me the other day, and another community.
So they spread out so you can see 4 or 5 police coming because I'm trying to report abuse. So what they did was they had me go over to. The police department claimed that the only way that you can escape abuse, and I tried to flee Dallas because it was bought off in control. I was blacklisted from all services, so I went outside of Dallas, and they would network me and route me back to Dallas. That was bought off in control, knowing that I get nowhere. Dallas had unlimited criminal trespasses that they can give me, but they couldn't arrest me anymore, but they had their free reign of terror giving me criminal trespasses at every place, so I couldn't be in Dallas. So nonetheless, they scammed that the only thing that they can do was take me back to Dallas to where I can get violated in Dallas to Kingdom Come. And then they took me to Green Oaks. Okay. Green Oaks, they took me to one hospital to spin my wheels to make sure it was nighttime. They do this all the time. So they didn't want it to be light. They wanted to make sure that I couldn't really see and navigate, and my capability was minimized, my opportunities. So they waited till it got late, and then by taking me to other locations that they had already enlisted to not help, that's recorded with this video. And in addition to that, I went to Green Oaks, and they were scamming at Green Oaks, and I never did get mental health treatment at Green Oaks. Green Oaks locked and closed up, and I've never seen anything like it. And it's uploaded videos, and all someone would have to do is law enforcement, but multiple different places locked and closed up. You let this happen before COVID. Then you didn't have rights. So nonetheless, it did happen. Green Oaks closed down. Dallas Behavioral closed down to keep me from going in. And Parkland just wouldn't let me stay in, and police removed me at Parkland. So Green Oaks shut down and locked up and as a strategy to keep me from getting mental health treatment. So I went to the bus. The bus, I had to call the police on the bus because it wasn't coming. Then they said that another bus was coming. Then I had to record that and upload. The bus came, and then I didn't have enough time. I got distracted, and someone was watching me. So the bus came and then passed me and wouldn't let me catch the bus at the bus stop, leaving me trapped outside. I had to sleep outside, terrified. Okay, sometimes police enlist civilians to lie, and then they don't even make sense. So this lady came that has been following me around. She's a gang stalker. The gang stalkers in the police department in cahoots. That's why they cover for each other. Like the man on the bus didn't want me recording the police. The police are paying the gang stalkers. So nonetheless, the police department sets up for this woman to pathologically lie on me and state that I'm at the bus stop with no bus pass. Typically, you buy the bus pass when you get on the bus. You pay, and then you get a bus pass. How can I populate a bus pass without being on the bus? It's a catch-22. They act like they're all cracking up. The lady has cursed me out and followed me around. Stalking is a crime. She was also harassing another lady that stalks me, and the other lady left.
I don't know why I'm calling about my bus pass, and I'm sitting here, and every time there's an issue, I can shut off the truck, and right in the next one comes, and I got to deal with her and her attitude. Yes.
So is it her and the black?
It was her.
The police was patrolling the area before she showed. The police kept coming. The police was stalking me, and they stalk me all the time with no accountability. It's still a felony, even if you are police. So they the police is coming about circling multiple different times, and then they concoct this.
Let me show the criminals.
I was dressed up.
They set it up. They're paying using your tax dollars to set this crap up. It's not on accident. They're setting this chaos up.
Just getting there, sitting at a bus stop, ready to catch the bus. He's jealous and can do this crap year after year. Look at all these police cars. You thought it was just isolated. You didn't think it was on purpose. What is that, 5 police cars? One left because he saw that I was recording.
They're having these people lie on me.
5 police cars. Let me let you see it again.
It's chaos up.
And I think it was another one arriving.
It wouldn't let me go live. They're having these people lie on me and con the police department.
The other lady took off. She'll be back. She's on the bridge.
How you doing, man?
Fine.
Are you catching the bus today?
Uh-huh.
Okay, dude.
Okay, let's look past the cons, okay? You have just seen all these police cars. She's saying that I was mouthing off. I didn't pull a gun on anyone. I didn't assault anyone. So I was mouthing off, so 4 police officers had to come in your con?
When I catch the bus, I buy one.
Okay.
He's asking for the bus pass.
She's lying. I told you that multiple parties lie, and you guys, I thought you think you're setting it up.
Told me anything. I just started.
I told the dark police.
Okay.
Because I don't know why multiple
Look at
people
his
lie
body
on me.
language.
You're covering up your name. Are you committing a crime?
Right there.
How do you say it? Let me see it.
Right there.
I can't see it. Your phone's covering it up,
Well, you
sir.
can stand up and look at it, ma'am.
Enfield 680.
They have taken my freedom. I don't know what they're capable of doing for profit. Multiple different
What's
times.
going on with this other lady?
Well, there's a lot of people that slander me and lie all the time, and I thought you guys were setting it up. Criminals setting up
I'm
civilians.
not asking about any of that. I'm asking what's happening. With
I
this
told
lady
you
right
repeatedly that people lie on me all the time, and
That's not telling me what's happening today. You're talking generalities. I'm talking specific.
nothing happened.
Specifically, what's going on with this lady?
She lied. Nothing happened.
Okay.
It's essentially what they're doing is abuse of power and brutality and misconduct. They're terrorizing me, and they have to strategize to not get charges. That they were stalking me and they didn't want me catching the bus, so they can't just come up. They have actually just taken my freedom from nowhere multiple different times. But I have a YouTube channel now. That's a problem. So now they have to strategize at reasoning for being in my presence, in my environment, all these different police. So what they're choosing to do is let other parties take the fall for their crimes.
Lied, nothing happened. Okay.
Right.
So why'd you call the police and saying you're
People do it all the time. People do it all the time.
So you understand on the dark property you can't use profanity, right?
She'd use profanity. I didn't.
Look past the con. So you came for police because I used profanity? It's not a crime to use profanity if I did, but I didn't. She did.
I didn't accuse you of using profanity.
Yeah, she did. And what did she say? What did she say I did?
Well, I'm trying to get your side of this.
I don't know what she said I did for 4 police to come
She told
and harass me.
She told me what happened.
I don't know what happened. Can you tell me? Because she's lying. What did she say happened? Because if you enlisted this lady to help you intimidate me like you've been doing for years.
Right now, you're going to, if you want to take this bus, okay.
She has a ticket, right?
I can't. I'm at the bus stop. You buy tickets. I'm at the bus stop. I purchased it. I thought you could purchase tickets on the bus.
All right, well, we'll wait here until the bus comes and you purchase the ticket.
Stop.
Okay,
We'll
but
wait
we
here.
still didn't get a
Well, right now, I'm still trying to get you to tell me what happened.
nothing. What did she say happened?
I don't have to tell you that. It's none of your business.
Harassment's
What she
criminal. If you're abusing your power to
said.
repetitively
I'm
set up people to.
investigating a potential crime that's not harassment or abusing my
I
power.
saw police come
Right now,
by
you're
here.
not cooperating, so the only person...
I mean, you've gotten away with assaulting me and arresting me with no
I haven't
consequences.
touched you, so how would
So,
I
I mean, you can terrorize with no crime, no nothing. It's
So
done.
where are you going today, ma'am?
repetitively. I like to keep it to myself.
Well, that's not how DART works. So, you
Oh,
can
sorry.
if you're going to be using DART services, you can tell me your destination.
Okay, well, I'll leave. I don't
That
have
sounds
rights.
great. Have a nice day.
This is what they do. He controls transit. They haven't went to got their prison sentences yet.
Have a good day,
Eden
Miss
Mingus
Clark.
637, EHAL 584.
Terrorize me till where I can't use it.
And this criminal right here tried to hide it. He don't want me using transit.
I can't
He
make
has
you
these
read.
goons come out, set up schemers.
Said you was leaving because it sounds like you're
Right now, you're leaving. So go ahead and leave.
So they will arrest me for catching the bus.
No.
No, they haven't racked up their felonies.
I have been arrested for using transit.
Okay, and what was the con that she said in your scheme?
Nice day.
They don't have to tell me.
Have a
That
nice
bully.
day.
This is a crime right here.
Trespass if you don't leave.
Now they're threatening a criminal trespass. Well, what? Okay, is a felony you committing? So you're threatening me with a criminal trespass, but what's your charge for doing this repetitively over and over? A criminal trespass is a misdemeanor. Is this a felony? What you're doing?
About 5 times police have came to terrorize people and put them off buses and schemes. I've actually been put off the bus probably like 10 times in schemes. Then like 4 times I started recording them and the schemes then follow through off trains and buses. I've been kidnapped on trains, been arrested for trying to use transit, assaulted using transit, like 20, 30 buses, put garage on them so I couldn't use them over and over, leaving me trapped in environments 4 hours. One location in Irving scanned that it was a bomb threat, which is why they didn't come in 4 hours. But when I got on the bus, I saw the school being evacuated. They said that someone had did a bomb threat at this school in Irving. This is what prompted me to go see my abuser in October of 2018. Because I was at the bus stop 4 hours and it did not come. It was terrifying, trapped. It was in an area where I couldn't catch the bus or use transit. I had no ability to get a taxi or anything. So nonetheless, when I tried to call the police and see what was going on, and they said it was a bomb threat, and I actually saw the school being evacuated, but it didn't make sense. The bus wasn't going for 4 hours. If it was indeed a bomb threat 4 hours ago, then they would have already evacuated. But the bomb threat was done after my report. There was also a bomb threat at Pilgrim's Pride in East Texas. I think it was considered, I can't remember where it was, but it was in East Texas, and it cost me my job, the bomb threat there. I couldn't get in, and then they terminated me for not being able to get in because of the bomb threat. So I'm at a hospital, okay? And then the police, they don't care. So nothing's safe.
You got services, you got beds,
They did not.
you got a pillow. It is time to go.
I was there 8 hours trying to get treatment, mental health treatment and medical treatment, and was denied both.
You have to be in here and bullying me, and you have to.
So have you ever seen anyone else that's not a government witness get discharged from the hospital, be escorted out by police? They're bagging my items up for me. I'm not even prepared. I'm finding out I'm being discharged with police. Have you ever seen anyone else that has experienced that repeatedly over and over? If I'm trying to get medical treatment and bullied and violated, nothing's safe for me. And I'm trying to let you see how it happens in stores. I'm going to go get arrested in stores on blatant lies. So I'm looking for this video when I was at Walmart, and then I was recording harassment, and he says I'm going to jail for recording. Another location said that I was going to jail. They usually just come before I started recording from nowhere into my arrest. I was arrested at racetrack with no rhyme or reasoning. They didn't care. I said, do you know how many false arrests I had? Then they would let me go. I think his name was Watkins. He's on another video when I'm trying to report the crimes with my hack device that was never investigated. His name was Wilkerson.
They do when they're committing crimes, criminal trespass.
They just sends out his own security at my job.
Yeah.
I had stolen payments, and they pathologically lied on me at work.
I can get the equipment. I just want to know why you're depriving me of the right enforcing crimes if they do.
Personal company property.
Right, but you guys are committing crimes here. You guys are committing crimes here. I want to report misconduct. The government has no reason. Yeah, because she has no reason to call me and try to force me to work on my day off when I was reporting my abuser. They have no right to lie and lock me out the system and then try to threaten the criminal trespass to enforce crimes. I still have a payroll issue now that we haven't got to the bottom of. You guys have no right to steal funds from me and then call the police on me to enforce crimes just because they told you to. They have no right to tell places to give me criminal trespasses and threaten me for trying to report abuse that they set up. It needs to end. So I'll go ahead and give you the equipment, and then I'll wait on the police. Yeah,
they never came. She was condescending, psychologically abusive.
Even though they entice you.
I told her that I was in a domestic violence crisis, and she left.
Please record. You've been asked to.
Right.
Family Place Domestic Violence Organization.
Violence organizations. You have not, ma'am. You're being dishonest.
Miss Kiana.
We've gone
If
over
police
this
can't do it,
countless
it's
times.
security.
Well, you still haven't. It doesn't matter that you're gone over. We need to see why multiple different businesses and churches are depriving me of services.
Ms. Kiana, what I've asked you several times to do at this point is to consider.
You conspiracy to violate civil rights is a crime.
Okay.
People can't keep calling the police on me and I'm recording you because you committed a crime, ma'am.
Okay. Well,
You can't deprive me of domestic violence support and assistance and services. That's what you're doing, and it's criminal.
Could you please exit the building?
That's what we're asking.
I'm trying to expose your crimes, ma'am.
You have done.
The government is demanding that these people make me getting services traumatic. They want it to sting to add insult to injury. Not only are you not getting services, we want to terrorize you. The problem with that is a felony. The people are sugarcoating this, terrorizing me and tormenting me and scaring me for trying to get services, even shopping, getting food is criminal. Yet these people aren't getting their charges. They're deliberately Miss Clark here. There are 5 people talking to me at one time. Purposely, it's deliberate mind games and psychological abuse on purpose.
So you allow someone to speed up on property like they're gonna hit me and then cover for it.
And that's,
Come on, man.
And
I'm
then
not gonna place my hands on anything, but
I'm not gonna lay any hands on her to
So
try to
this is
scare
what they
me.
do. This is how they treat the
because at this
abuse tax
point,
dollars.
we will have to contact actual.
I don't care my
PD for trying to get
because
service.
every place I
Contact
go
the
to,
police.
people are doing these crimes. What is the point? I'm trying to expose you for your criminal activity. You have no right to let my abuser control you and deprive me of my rights to get protected from him.
I have my officer already contacting DPD. Come on, man. He's like, step outside.
That's his staff.
You've been asked.
I know the DPD is behind it. That's why I'm waiting on it so everybody
So
can
this
go to
man
jail.
says that if I don't hurry up and leave, I'm waiting on the police. This man states that the criminal trespass will extend from all businesses, including the mall. Knowing that I work from home, but the base is in the mall. So they were trying to scare me so I couldn't report their crimes to the police. It worked because I know I'm not getting law enforcement or any help. But they may have scammed a criminal trespass from another business, and you can't do that. But they don't care.
So what is the access to the visitation line supposed to do?
That's basically, you would call that number to, they would kind of explain to you what your rights are according to whatever your order says. There's a website as well that it kind of shows you what you need to do, like if you want to file on your own against the other party, like what information that you're going to need.
Oh, they told me that I had to get an attorney and they wouldn't really help
On
on.
the website?
I have that website. I just don't understand why they wouldn't do their job responsibility. They kept hanging up on me, whoever I was calling, and didn't want me to know.
Yeah, because that's not us, so I don't know,
I'm at the Attorney
but
General.
there is a website as well.
So there's no way I
But
can
we wind up
report
calling the
any of
police on each
crimes
other.
to you. I can just report it that I don't have access to my child out of corruption, and will that go to ombudsman for them to see?
I mean, as far as crime,
Because I thought I talked to you last time, and at that point you said you didn't see my child custody rights were terminated, and they weren't at that time. But then they schemed that they were terminated another time, so they can't get their story straight. I thought that's what we discussed.
well, I haven't.
I'm almost positive if I would remember your name, it was you.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I think
How
so.
long ago was that?
It's been a while, like maybe 2020 or 2021.
I was at this office in 2021, so it wasn't me.
Okay, I remember that name, Isabella. But okay,
It's not Isabella, it's Isabel.
Isabel. Okay, I remember that, but it may not have been you.
Yeah, so there's an access and visitation website too. And that explains to you like what you're gonna need if you need to file something
In here.
So they didn't want to give me information on my missing payments, so she left because she was trying to give me
And
information
they
on another
scheme
case,
arguments. I haven't cursed anyone out.
and she just left. while I
They
was
have no.
talking.
That's not true.
I just don't understand why.
I'm done talking to you. Thank you for coming.
I don't know why people keep scheming. You're committing a crime, ma'am.
She
Covering
lied.
up
That
for
is the
stolen
lady
child
that I
support
dealt with
payments
last
is
time.
criminal. I thought it was you last time.
That is her. I don't know if she really works there. If government officials are coming, hijacking over these business, enforcing
You want to see
crimes
my
on
YouTube
them.
channel? They keep doing this.
So
You
I
don't wanna
can't
see
get
it?
it resolved
Okay.
in person. I can't get it over the phone.
You know this stuff is really happening.
This was a Zang location. Then you saw the location downtown at the George Allen building. They're robbing me of my ability to report this abuse at Attorney General Child Support Division and Crimes. Keep in mind, you did ignore this before COVID. You know, this is the consequence of letting someone be violated and you not doing your job responsibility, multiple different parties, and your responsibility as a citizen to report abuse. By you not doing that, I don't know what happened with COVID. Perhaps maybe when you dig a hole for someone else, you tend to fall in it. That's why this shouldn't go on any longer.